How you doing, everybody? It is 2024, and that means it is time for me to continue my tradition of predicting the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year. It is 2024, February to be exact. We are in a new year, brand new slate of movies coming our way, and a lot of great stuff to look forward to. A lot of good movies to look forward to in 2024. And speaking of looking forward to, I look forward to making these videos every single year. I legitimately really enjoy making these prediction videos, and it's fun. It's fun for me. So this is my annual top 10 predictions, the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year of 2024. But before we get into the list, little disclaimer, something I like to say. I've been saying this the past couple years, but so I'm not that familiar with the foreign box office. I mean, the past couple years, the Chinese box office has just exploded. We've seen a lot of Chinese films crack the top 10 highest grossing films of the year for a couple years now, for a while. And I don't know enough about the Chinese movie release slate. I don't know enough about the Chinese movies coming out. I don't. So I'm excluding any Chinese films. So that right there my list is going to be wrong already. I mean, if a Chinese movie breaks the top 10 at the end of the year. So that right there kind of kills my list. But I just have to be honest, I just don't know enough about the Chinese box office and the Chinese movies coming out this year to make any accurate predictions. So I'm going to be excluding any of them. So just a disclaimer. All right, let's jump into it, shall we? My predictions. This year's predictions for the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year. Starting off my list at number 10 is The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, a continuation of the Planet of the Apes reboot from 2011 to 2017. Now, the highest grossing film of that trilogy made about $710 million. The other two made just under $500 million, which I think is kind of around the estimate that I am predicting for this film. It's probably going to make around $500 million, but I'm looking forward to it. The visual effects for the original trilogy, the reboot trilogy, were fantastic. This one looks amazing. I think it's going to do pretty well, just enough to make my top 10. Coming in at number 9, it's actually my most anticipated movie of the year. That's Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, the 5th movie in the MonsterVerse franchise and a direct sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong, which was actually the 8th highest grossing film of 2021. That movie did really well considering the circumstances it was released in, made about $470 million. But if history is any indication, there has never been a monster movie that has grossed more than $600 million. And that's not including Jurassic Park and all that stuff. Some people will consider the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise to be monster movies. But even when taking them into consideration, there has never been a non-Jurassic Park monster movie to gross more than $600 million. Now, I think this movie is going to do really well, and honestly, I think $600 million could very well be a possibility. However, if I was to play it safe, a more realistic prediction is somewhere between $500 and $600 million, more specifically between $550 and $600 million. Either way, I think this movie is going to do really well, and that's why I put it at number 9. My number 8 pick is Gladiator 2, which I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't know how this movie is going to do. This is really my dark horse pick out of this entire list. I honestly have no idea how this is going to do at the box office. This movie could very well be the breakout hit of 2024, but I just don't know. I'm very curious to see how it does at the box office. This, of course, is a sequel to the 2000 movie. That one did really well, made about $465 million, but here we are 24 years later. We have a sequel 24 years after the original. From what I understand, Russell Crowe's not in it, so you have a sequel that doesn't have the star that made the first one so popular, so I really don't know how it's going to do, but I'm taking a risk and I'm putting it at my number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Kung Fu Panda 4, the return of the Kung Fu Panda franchise. This franchise has been very, very consistent. It's made between the three previous films have made between $520 million to about $630 million. And I think this is going to land right around, right in that area somewhere. I don't think it's going to do less than that. If it does more, maybe a little bit more, I'm thinking maybe around $650, maybe $640. I think my original, really specific prediction was between $620 and $640. But it could make as much as $650. But I really don't see it underperforming or outperforming any of the three previous films. But it's still going to do really well. It's a popular franchise, and that's why I'm putting it at number 7. My number 6 pick is Dune Part 2. This, of course, a sequel to the 2021 film, which did pretty well at the box office, made around $434 million. This one I feel is going to do a lot more. I think everybody, that's an easy prediction. Everybody's saying this movie is going to do a lot more than the first one. But there's a lot of hype for this movie. It comes out soon. I was going to say they are in the final stages of the marketing because this movie comes out in a couple weeks. So there's a lot of hype and a lot of anticipation for this movie. It's going to do very well. Therefore, it's in my top 10 at number 6. And now we're in the top 5. My number 5 is Moana 2, another sequel. This is a sequel to Moana, obviously, from 2016. In my opinion, one of the better Walt Disney animated films of the past 10 years. That first one made around $687 million, and I see this one making around the same. It's probably going to be around $650, $700 million. It's going to do very well. I think there's a lot of good faith from the first movie. Like I said, it was definitely one of the better Walt Disney animated films of the past 10, 15 years. It's got a decent fan base. I know there's the merchandise is, it's the potential for the merchandise is there. I know a lot of merchandise is sold for the first movie. So there is a fan base. There's popularity for the Moana franchise. So I see this one doing very well, about as well as the first one, and I have it at number 5. Number 4, my number 4 pick for the top 10 highest grossing films of the year. I have Inside Out 2, another sequel, another animated film, another Disney film. Well, technically, this is a Pixar one. This one falls under the Pixar animated canon, so let's get that straight. But yes, another Pixar animated film, the sequel to Inside Out from 2015, I do believe. That was a really good movie. Just another typical great Pixar story. Another emotional roller coaster. Typical Pixar fashion, gave us plenty of laughter and plenty of tears. Thanks a lot. But that one did very well, made around $850 million. And I'm going to say the same thing that I said for Moana. I see this movie making kind of around the same amount that the first one made. Kind of around that $750 to $800 million range. Stretch out a little bit, $750 to $850. But as I mentioned, the first one from 2015 made around $850 million. It's a visually stunning movie. It was well received, well reviewed. So I think this one is going to do very, very well. Obviously, I have it at my number 4. Number 3 of 2024, I have Joker, Folie à Deux. Folie à Deux. Probably butchered that. Sounds French. But no, this is not a French film. This is in fact the sequel to the 2019 film Joker, the 2019 mega hit film. In my opinion, that was the surprise hit of 2019. Just mega successful movie, made over $1 billion. And this movie is going to be, let's be honest, this is without a doubt one of the most anticipated films of the year. And if the quality is on par, if the quality is on par with that 2019 film, and the performances are going to be good. Joaquin Phoenix, I have no doubt that Lady Gaga is going to make a great Harley Quinn. So I have no doubt about the performances. But if the quality is on par, because the anticipation is there, the curiosity is there, and if this film's quality is on par with the first one, this is going to make a killing at the box office. The question is, will it make as much as the first? In my opinion, it's not going to. I'm looking at this one at around $750 to $850, maybe around the $900 million mark. We'll see. But I don't know. My gut feeling tells me that I don't see this movie making quite as much as the first one, but it's still going to be mega successful in my opinion, which is why I have it at number 3. My number 2 pick, Despicable Me 4. Now, the Despicable Me franchise has been nothing but consistent, just a huge success I mean, one of the most successful franchises in the world. The last movie, Despicable Me 3, made over $1 billion. The two Minions movies, the first one was like $1.1 billion. The last movie in the franchise was the Minions sequel, which was last year, I think, Rise of Gru. That made over $900 million. So this one, I really think it's gonna keep the momentum going for this franchise. I think this movie is gonna make a lot of money. I don't think there may be a little bit of a downswing, maybe a little bit of a decrease compared to the last film. For some reason, I don't see this one making $1 billion, but I think it's still going to make very, very close to it. Within that, within that expected Despicable Me franchise area, and that is, around anywhere between $800 to $1 billion. I mean, this franchise really doesn't show any signs of slowing down. If it does, it would be this film, considering this is the fourth Despicable Me, and that would make it the sixth in the overall franchise. But as of right now, it shows no signs of slowing down, and that's why I feel like it's still going to make right around what the previous movies have made. And as a result, I am putting it at my number 2. All right, and my number 1 pick for the highest grossing film of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's kind of a safe bet, I know, but I feel confident. But seriously, I feel really confident about this pick because there is a lot of hype for this movie. I mean, we just got the first trailer a couple days ago. People are super excited for this film. The first 2 Deadpool movies, both of them did very well, but I feel like this one is going to make a killing. Getting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, the promotional stills we got of Hugh Jackman in the classic yellow Wolverine outfit. I mean, there's a lot of people that are excited for this movie, and I would not be surprised if this movie hit $1 billion. I really wouldn't. I really do think, I was going to say without a doubt, but no, I don't want to choke on my words when we revisit this video next year. But like I said, I feel confident that Deadpool and Wolverine will be the highest grossing film of 2024. There you have it. Those are my predictions. My predictions for the top 10 highest grossing films of the year of 2024. And, notice anything? They're all sequels. See that? Every single one. When I was first coming up with the list and writing it down and everything, I didn't even notice it until recently. I'm getting ready to review it, and it just finally dawned on me. Every single one of these movies is a sequel. Apparently what happened last year, I believe, is not going to happen this year. We had a lot of very successful original movies last year. Barbie, Oppenheimer, Super Mario Brothers. Apparently, I don't think that's going to happen again this year. And every single one of these is a sequel. That's funny, but yeah, anyway, let's review the list, shall we? All right, number 10, my top 10 highest grossing films of the year. Number 10, The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number 9, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Number 8, Gladiator 2. Number 7, Kung Fu Panda 4. Number 6, Dune Part 2. Number 5, Moana 2. Number 4, Inside Out 2. Number 3, Joker Folie et Deux. Probably butchered that again. That's my number 3. Number 2, Despicable Me 4. And my number 1 pick, Deadpool and Wolverine. So those are my predictions for 2024, the 2024 box office. And as I've done in previous years, we're going to be revisiting this list, revisiting this video, see how many I got right and, well, more accurately, how many I got wrong, because my track record hasn't been too good. But yeah, just like we've done in previous years, we're gonna check out this video again. We're gonna revisit this list next year, see exactly how accurate my predictions were, how accurate my rankings were. So looking forward to doing that next year. But let's get the conversation going. There's comments section right here. Let's utilize them. That's what they're for. I really want to know. I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what movies you're looking forward to the most this year. I really want to know what movies you think are going to make the most money. Tell me all your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you like these kind of videos, I'm going to put the link to the playlist for all my previous year's predictions. I'm going to put the link to that playlist in the description so you can check out my past predictions for previous years. And if you were entertained by this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you showed your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing.